After returning to the criminal underworld to repay a debt, John Wick discovers that a large bounty has been put on his life. John Wick 2 is up next on Inside Movies. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Inside Movies. This week we're continuing on with Keanu Reeves month with John Wick 2. And then come back next week, we're doing John Wick 3 and then John Wick 4. So it's lots of Keanu.
We Keanu not stop.
We Keanu not stop. That's awesome. I am joined by the editor-in-chief of Merc Publishing, Murphey, novelist Andrew Buckley, and writer-illustrator GMB CHOMICHUK. Let's get into the good. What do we like about John Wick 2?
I really like John Wick, the character. You know, I think that Keanu really has found a world that he really thrives in as an actor. And this was my first time watching this, even though I had seen 3, which I know drives a lot of people crazy, and I'm a little bit mad that I can't say that anymore. But it definitely made 3 even more enjoyable, knowing the entire context that led up to it.
It's true. In the first one, he went on this revenge killing spree over his dog, which represented the loss of his wife. And in this one, he doesn't have that to fall back on. But what this did, it expanded on the entire world. So I love the world building that came with this movie. As soon as he goes to Rome and does that whole part with the sommelier played by Peter Serafinowicz. Am I pronouncing that right? Anyway, that dude. It's great. And the different continentals, like outside of New York, I just love the way that they built on this thing. Outside of everything else that's cool about this, I think the world building in this thing is great.
Yeah, totally. It expands on the mythology. I like the concept of the marker and how he's like, you have to fulfill this obligation or else you're done. People had before John Wick, people had talked about how hitmen are cool, and I never really got it. I was like, spies are cool because I've seen spy movies, but hitmen, it's like I hadn't really gotten into a world of the hitman. And seeing the John Wick movies and the mythology that they've created for it, it's made the hitman kind of subgenre of action movies one of my favorites.
How did you feel that the movie opened with him killing more Russians?
It hurts. It hurts deep down. Eastern Europeans, always the butt of Keanu Reeves movies, murder sprees. As a blood ballerina, him just dancing around, killing more countrymen is a little hard. But, I guess you got to pick your villains. One thing I'll say that this in the good about this movie is it's not really about hitmen, I don't think, at all. It's the mythology elevated to that level of operatic storytelling. It's no more about hitmen than The Matrix was about, hackers. It's really just a vehicle for us to have a whole bunch of stunt coordinators crafting impossible stunts in a long string and calling it a story.
I really like the car chase scene to kick off the movie. I thought that was awesome. There's so much action in this flick. The fight with Common is super cool, in the subway and stuff. And then when he's going through the caverns in Italy and picking those guys off, there's a lot of cool action in this.
The fight with Common when they fly down the stairs together, just I felt that. It looked so real and painful. I thought that was a really incredibly well done piece of choreography. And then on another note, the bulletproof suits, I just find that to be such a cool detail. That's it's you want to get me, you have to headshot. And I don't know. I thought that was a cool detail. It was oh, duh, of course, a secret, a spot or a mercenary would have a bulletproof 3-piece suit.
Yeah, the style of this thing, man. I mean, it's we can crap all over Keanu Reeves acting. I wouldn't say that John Wick requires a lot of, really high profile acting from Keanu. But what he lacks in that.
You say prophylacting?
High profile.
Oh, high profile acting. I didn't think prophylactic was a verb that you could use, Andrew.
No,
but you
it's
are a
a-
writer of great renown, so I wonder.
Thanks, buddy.
You can make up words.
He makes up for it all with the stylistic stuff. I mean, he spends like 3 to 6 months before every John Wick movie training, and it totally shows, man. He did 95% of his own stunts. He didn't get hit by the car, and he didn't do the roll down the stairs. Everything else was Keanu Reeves doing all this crap. And to the point where he like every time he like his mag is out, like he flicks it away every time and loads another one. Like all of those little details. I mean, aside from the fact that he shoots people like 3 times, like head, chest, leg, or leg, head, chest, or whatever order he does it in every time. Like, it's just, man, it's so much fun to watch. The choreography in this thing is crazy.
If you like murder melodies and blood ballets and ballets of violence, look no further than Murphey. Tell us what you got.
Born of Blood #6 is in stores now. This is the final issue of the Merc Universe Origins, which is the story of Giaris and the Helmet of Leonidas. And it takes some wild turns, and it's going to kick off the entire next series of comics that we have coming to you next year. So go tell your local comic book store you want Born of Blood #6 in stores now.
Yes, and there's a link in the description of this video to the Merc Publishing website. Ask your local comic book store to bring in the Merc Publishing titles. Let's get into the bad. What we not like about John Wick 2?
This movie suffered from its own success. Okay, so bear with me here. The bad in this series is the power creep. So we go from invincible scene to next invincible scene, and they're constantly having to one-up the mythology. So a character that gets knocked out by a flashlight at the beginning of the first movie now can be thrown downstairs and hit by cars, and no big deal. We just gloss over the idea that thumping him on the head knocks him out when he's at home, but out in the world he is an unstoppable killing machine. And every time that we're going to talk about some element of the mythological world of the super assassins, we then unlock another character who's above that. There's like the high table, and then the higher table, and then the high chair that they pull up to the high table. And every time it just keeps stacking, and that drives me crazy. Well, you know what? We have another golden token that means a different thing. Oh, we have a different golden token that means a different thing. Oh my god. Oh, wait. I have a golden token and it means something else. Shut up.
I don't fully disagree, because I do think it's its own worst enemy. Because I mean, where do you stop? Where do you reach the precipice of this whole thing? But going back and actually rewatching John Wick 1, which we did before, I had the same thought. I'm like, he got like mugged in his own house, this guy. But he wasn't in the business. He got out of it. And the more he gets back into it, the better he gets.
But it's 4 days later, Andrew.
And that's how fast he gets back into it, Greg. That's how fast he does it.
Here's the one gimme I'd give you. Here's a gimme I'd give you. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's a thing now.
Gimme.
Gimme. I think he set them up and pretends to be knocked out in that scene so that he can go on a murder spree.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
That's the only explanation, because his head is like a granite sphere for the rest of the series. But in that
He secretly hated that dog.
He hated that dog.
He was so happy.
Sick of picking up its
The
shit.
promise he had made to the love of his life. He'd always wanted to, and now he finally had an excuse, but he had to make it look good for the camera.
I just feel like the motivation for John Wick going on this mission is just so much less personal than the previous installments. So yeah, he's obligated, or they're going to kill him. And then they burn down his house and try and kill him. You know, so it is personal, but it's not the same as killing his dog, and and the memory of it. It doesn't feel like there's that emotional connection to it.
Yeah, like this is a job that he is hired to do. I don't think he would have the same fervor that he does tracking down his dog's killers. I agree with that.
Just listen to that sentence.
All right. And all right, I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm like Mr. Action movie guy, but the action does go on for a bit too long, and it gets kind of repetitive in this one.
What?
Yeah, no, it's not it's just a lot of like the same things. Like, and he seems very systematic in his killings, and it's repetitive. It is.
The catacombs went on minutes too long. I think. It's like I always have a pet peeve when like something's a little bit too dark to like really tell what's going on, and like it can work for a little bit, but that went on for like 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like if you're in a hot tub, you know, there's a little sign there that says like you're supposed to get out, right? But you just stay and things start to feel weird. That's how John Wick movies feel with the level of violence in them. It's like you're in a hot tub of violence and you should have got out 10 minutes ago, but you forgot and now you feel weird.
That's how I do all my writing.
I would stay in
I
this
feel weird.
I would stay in this hot tub forever. It's so I love these movies. They're so fun. What I don't buy Ruby Rose as a henchman at all. Not even a little bit. Not even close. I don't think she would be a challenge. Like she's just like a tiny little skinny thing. It doesn't make any sense. And why did they make her mute? Like that doesn't make any sense at all. Just so they could throw sign language into it and prove that everybody knows sign language in this world as well.
Ruby Rose, along with Common, are two actors that I can't take them seriously. I just don't think they're good actors. And Common, at least, you know, when you put them up against Keanu Reeves, it's like, it's better than other films. But yeah, I feel the same way about Common.
To Andrew's point, like the first time I watched this, Ruby Rose as the henchman really bugged me because I'm like, she's not gonna be able, like she's too small to put up a proper fight against Keanu Reeves, who's like this unstoppable hitman. Like it's not realistic. And rewatching it for this review, I felt like the fight was really short and she didn't really put much of a threat up. So I have kind of less of a problem with it. It didn't seem unrealistic to me. What did seem unrealistic to me that kind of took me out of the movie was the very end, where he's given 1 hour and it turns out like everyone and their dog is part of this underground world, which felt like super unrealistic to me.
How do we stop an assassin that we can't kill with 20 guys? Well, we have to send 50 guys. Oh, he killed them. We have to send 100 guys, right? But let's remember that he has a weak spot right on the back of his head, and if you thump it with a flashlight, out he goes.
Is this supposed to be the insurmountable odds story though? Like, you know, the man facing the Greek gods kind of deal, like trying to steal their power or whatever parallel you want to draw from it. But like it isn't it that kind of story though, where it's supposed to be him against literally everybody by the end of it? And I assume that's kind of where we're heading with this whole thing.
Where are we heading with the whole thing? Well, we still have to do the third one. There is some redemptive elements. All my criticisms are somewhat reduced by the time we get to John Wick 3. There's one line in it that kind of redeems the whole franchise for me. But we'll see. They might mess it up in 4.
Okay, let's get into our... Yes, come back next week for that part. Let's get into the skinny. What's our final grades for John Wick 2?
I give this 5 kills with a pencil out of 5. I'm going to continue loving these movies because I will happily watch them again and again. They're super fun.
I'm going to give it an A-. This is my least favorite of the John Wick movies. It's filled with mind-meltingly awesome action and like how it expands. I like how it expands from the first installment, the mythology of it and all, but I just don't think there's enough story here and the action becomes a little bit repetitive.
I'm going to give this 5 out of $7 million to kill John Wick. It's good. It's action-packed, a little bit too action-packed in sometimes, but it's a fun movie.
I'll give this 5 out of 5 Christopher Lambert in Highlander because it's basically the same plot.
I don't know about that. Also, see our previous review of Highlander. It's up on the channel too. So that's going to do it for another episode of Inside Movies. Go and check out Born of Blood, issue 6. It's coming to your local comic book store, so ask them to bring it in. Go check out the Merc Publishing website. Link in the description of this video. And until next time, peace.